Paul is a photojournalist for a local newspaper. It's his day off and he's hanging out at a party. Suddenly, a famous actress, Heather, enters the dance floor. Paul takes only one picture of her before his phone runs out of power. The next day, Paul shows this picture to his boss and gets a huge bonus. Can you guess why this picture is so exclusive? Heather is stealing money from this lady's pocket. Paul is looking at the office open space from the second floor. Suddenly, he spots a time traveler among his co-workers. Can you see this person too? This guy's outfit is too old-fashioned. Paul leaves his workplace to get some fresh air and eat. In a while, he returns and finds his boss unconscious on the floor. Paul calls doctors and questions 3 co-workers standing nearby. Rachel says, "I entered his office 10 minutes ago to discuss my ideas, but he said he's been too busy and asked me to leave." Stan says, "I don't know what happened here because it was my lunch break time. I was eating my hot dog outdoors." And Lily says, "I think I saw some suspicious man in a black outfit entering his office." Can you guess who's lying? Stan. He has an unpacked hot dog on his desk, so he was definitely doing something else during his lunch break. Paul arrives downtown to take some pictures. He's looking out the window of one of the buildings and sees this horrible scene. Why is he doing it? Do you have any ideas? This lady is a magician, so it's just a staging. Finally, Paul enters a spooky building where he's supposed to photograph. Suddenly, someone locks the door, and now Paul is trapped inside. He wanders around for a while and finds these 4 doors. A creepy voice announces, "Only door number 5 is the escape door. As for the other 3 doors, dangerous monsters are waiting behind them to eat anyone who dares to enter."
Oh boy.
Can you help Paul choose the right way? He should choose the first door. The symbols on the doors are actually numbers.
Yeah.
Paul enters the exam room and sees 2 more doors with spirals. The voice says, "You should choose the spiral which consists of 2 separate parts." The other door hides a magical portal leading to a black hole. Can you help Paul pick the right door? It's the second one. Paul opens the door and finds himself in a suspicious hall. He sees a metal door with a combination lock, but it's locked and requires a 6-number code. What would you suggest? The correct code is 3755419. There's a hint hanging on the wall. Paul should literally enter 3 7s, 5 4s, and 1 9. In the next room, Paul meets a mad scientist, the one who had imprisoned him. He says, "I'm gonna set you free if you crack my last riddle, so listen carefully. I have a head and a tail that will never meet. Having too many of me is always a treat. What am I?" The correct answer is a coin. The scientist says, "Okay, you can go now. There are 3 doors for you to choose from. Unfortunately, each door is hiding some danger. There's a tank with a hungry shark behind the first door, and there's a bunch of balloons filled with toxic gas behind the second door, and there's a giant cobra waiting behind the 3rd door." Can you help Paul choose the safest option to escape? Paul should choose the second door. Toxic gas is inside the balloons, so if he passes by carefully without popping them, he'll escape safely.
Yeah.
Paul returns to his neighborhood. He's walking down the street and sees a tree with a bunch of birds. Can you spot an antisocial owl among them? This owl is looking away from the rest of the group. There are 2 houses with 2 single women living next to Paul. One of them used to live in poverty all her life, but today she robbed a bank. Can you spot this woman? The first lady is the robber. She spent unnecessary money on food, which is far more than one person needs. Paul is having a family meeting. He asks 2 of his sisters to sell an equal amount of homemade cookies. The cost of each cookie is $1. Paul tells them, "You shouldn't eat the cookies that you're selling, and you should sell all the cookies." At the end of the day, all cookies are sold, yet neither sister gained nor lost $1. How is this possible? The first sister bought a cookie from the other one, and the second sister bought a cookie from the first one, and so on. In the evening, Paul is having a family dinner, but one of the guests is an imposter. Can you guess who? This gentleman is a ghost. He's levitating in the air. The next day, Paul arrives at his workplace and sees his coworker standing near this mirror. Lily says, "It's rumored that anyone who stood up in front of that mirror at 4:44 ended up disappearing forever." The guys decide to debunk that myth. Lily approaches the mirror at 4:44, but nothing happens. They laugh at the rumor and get back to business. After work, everyone goes home, but Lily stays for a little longer to finish her work. After doing that, she walks up to the mirror and disappears. The clock says 7:16. Why did it happen at the wrong time? The rumor was about the mirror time. 7:16 is the mirror image of 4:44. Paul wants to rescue Lily, so he goes to the most famous wicked witch in his town. The witch says,
"Okay, young man, I can get your friend out of the looking glass if you help me in the kitchen. Which one of these 7 potion pots will get full first?"
"Do you have any ideas?" Outlets to the first and fifth pots are blocked at the initial point, so they won't fill. Nothing is connected to the sixth pot. The outlet under the second pot is also blocked in the end. Outlets to pots 3, 4, and 7 are blocked in the middle, so they won't fill. Therefore, no pot will ever fill. The witch is satisfied with Paul's answer. She shows him 4 doors and says,
"Your friend is behind one of these doors. You only have one chance to pick the right one. Good luck!"
Can you help Paul find Lily? There are flower symbols on each door. Paul should pick the door with a lily. Yes! Paul rescues Lily, and the witch offers him to fulfill one wish. Paul goes home to ask advice from his family. His blind father wants to restore his sight. His sister wants a puppy, and his mother wants to be super rich. Paul makes a wish, and all 3 people get what they want. What was Paul's wish? Here's what Paul told the witch. "My father wants to see our puppy digging in a pile of gold coins." Paul arrives at a luxury boat club to make a report. 4 millionaires are talking about their boats. There are a total of 8 boats, 2 in each color: red, green, blue, and yellow. Each millionaire owns 2 boats, but no millionaire has 2 boats of the same color. Alex doesn't have a yellow boat. Bob doesn't have a red boat, but he does have a green one. One of the millionaires has a yellow boat and a blue boat, and another millionaire has a green boat and a blue boat. Charles has a yellow boat. David has a blue boat. but he doesn't have a green one. Can you guess the colors of boats owned by each millionaire? Alex has a red and a green boat. Bob has one green boat and one blue boat. Charles has a yellow boat and a red one. And David has one blue and one yellow boat.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.
While Miss Virginia Dell was away on her summer vacation, her house got robbed. 3 people were caught on the security camera and they became the main suspects. Ayla, Virginia's best friend, said, I've been coming to pick up mail. Sophia, the housemaid, said,
I've come every Wednesday to clean the house.
And Danica, the gardener, said,
I come every Friday to take care of the garden.
Who robbed Miss Dell? It must have been Sophia, the housemaid. She said that she cleaned the house every week. But look at the house. It's very dusty. She's shady, and she must be the main suspect. Last Friday, Mary sneaked out to a party without asking her mom's permission. Her mom found out about it and grounded Mary for a month. No friends, no parties. 2 weeks after that, there was another party, and Mary couldn't miss it. The morning after the second party, Miss Roberts walked into Mary's room and asked her what she'd been doing in the evening.
I was solving my new puzzle,
the girl answered. Mary got grounded for another month. Why? Take a look at the puzzle. She's barely started it. It doesn't look like an evening-long activity. Jane was a straight-A college student, but her friends hadn't heard from her in a week. When she didn't show up for an exam, her best friend got concerned. She came to visit, but Jane wasn't home. So, she reported that Jane had been kidnapped. There were 3 suspects, all of them Jane's ex-boyfriends. Michael, Miguel, and Daniel. All of them denied being in any contact with the girl. Who should be arrested? The note on the fridge is a clue. It looks like a recipe, but it's not. It's the number of letters you should take from each word. 2/4 of milk gives us MI. Then we have CH, then A, E, and L. It seems that Michael has something to do with Jane's disappearance. I'll be showing you combinations of emojis, and your task is to guess what fruit or vegetable they stand for. Here's the first, very simple one. What do you think it is? So there's an egg and a plant. So, of course, it's an eggplant. The next one. This time, it's not so obvious. Do you have any ideas? It's a ladyfinger. Good job. Off to the next one. I wonder if you can get this one right. A car and a rat. A carrot, of course. Now let's add some letters to help you. What about this one? What's your bet? O and a leaf. That's an olive, of course. Okay, here's the next one, and I know you'll get it right. Some sugar, or rather something sweet, and a potato. Of course, it's a sweet potato. Okay, now it's getting a bit more complicated. What's your call? There are 2 types of people who love it and those who can't stand it. It's cauliflower. Okay, and here's the last one for you. Q, a comb, and a bear. Cucumber. Great job with these ones. Esme was having a walk in the forest and got lost. She was wandering around until she found the road leading to the house of a witch, her old friend. Esme approached the house, but the witch wasn't there. Instead, there were 4 open portals. On the table, Esme found the witch's to-do list. Can you figure out which portal the witch entered? The first 2 tasks on the witch's to-do list are completed, so she's most likely left to catch some frogs. The number in brackets must mean the number of sides each portal has. 10 is a star, 3 is a triangle, 4 is a square, and a 0 is a circle. To catch some frogs, she must have used the portal that looks like a square. Cindy was a kind and beautiful girl in her junior year. 2 best friends, Dylan and Kobe, wanted to ask her out to prom. So the guys decided to ask Cindy's best friend which of them likes Cindy more. The girl didn't want to share her best friend's secrets, but she gave them a hint.
Cindy loves pizza, but she can't stand burgers. She likes to go to the pool, but never goes to the gym. Her favorite animal is the llama, but she's afraid of zebras.
Which of the boys does Cindy like? Cindy's friend wanted to give the guy a clue, so we have to look for some pattern. All the things Cindy likes have double letters in them. Dylan has the double L in his name, so he must be the one Cindy likes more. Kate woke up in a dungeon and couldn't remember what had happened to her. The place didn't look safe, so she decided to get out. The door was open and she left the room, walking down the hallway. Several minutes later, Kate stopped in front of 2 elevators and 1 door with an exit sign on it. Is it the way out? In any case, the door was locked and required a password. Can you guess what the password is? Pay attention to the numbers on the elevators. They say 13 and 11, so the password must be 1311. In a small, quiet town, young men started to go missing. The police had been looking for them for many months and couldn't find any traces. But one day, they discovered an abandoned basement in an old swimming pool. Inside, there were 3 young men who claimed they had been held there for 3 months. One of them was the kidnapper. But who? Look, one guy doesn't have facial hair whatsoever, and another man has grown a beard since he hasn't shaved in 3 months. But this guy is freshly shaved, so he must be the kidnapper. Oliver is terrible at packing. Whenever he goes somewhere, he always takes stuff he'll never need, so he needs your help with some packing. Today, he's packing to go camping in the forest. Take a look at his bag and decide what he won't need on the trip. Look, there's an electric hairdryer. There's no electricity in the forest, so he can definitely leave it at home. Now look at what Oliver has packed for his vacation in Egypt, where he'll be staying in an all-inclusive hotel. Is there anything he won't need? Is that laundry detergent? Yeah, you don't wash your clothes yourself in an all-inclusive hotel. Now he's off to his girlfriend's place to spend the weekend with her. What does he have in his bag that he really won't need there? Is it a roll of toilet paper? I think it's very likely that his girlfriend has that. Oliver is going to visit his grandparents and stay with them for a week. They live on a farm where there are cows and horses. Oliver is going to chill and do some gardening. Now check his suitcase. What's there that he won't need? I don't think he'll need his tuxedo. He'll most likely be wearing some casual clothes all the time. Yasmin is wandering through a forest and sees a spooky house. As soon as she steps inside, the door behind her back slams shut. It's the house of an old magician who doesn't like visitors. But there's a chance for strangers to escape. There are 3 drinks. The red one will turn Yasmin into a mouse for an hour. The green one will allow her to fly for an hour. The blue one will make her breathe fire for an hour. Which drink should Yasmin choose if she wants to get out? Yasmin should drink the red liquid. She'll turn into a mouse and will be able to escape through this little hole in the front door.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side. Well, your body can do incredible things on its own, but you may also have features that make you stand out even from the largest crowd. Having extremely long eyelashes, having an additional joint in your fingers, or not having any lines on your palms but one, you name it. So let's find out how unique you are. Many people can roll their tongue, so it's a pretty lame party trick. But only about 15% can twist their tongue into a clover shape. How about a tongue bouquet? Only about 3% of all people on Earth have an X shape on both of their palms. Look at yours. Maybe you're the lucky one. Some say it's a sign of a strong character, by the way. Can you cross your eyes so that they look at each other? Some people, about 6% of the world's population, can vibrate both their eyes and their sockets. Looks strange, but it's actually really quick moving of the eyes back and forth. So it depends on the strength of your eye muscles. You could train that if you wanted. Ducks, seagulls, platypuses, all these creatures have one thing in common: webbed feet. Same as about 0.5% of the people in the world. The most common occasion among these lucky guys is that the second and third of their toes have a web between them that connects them. Some rare individuals have finger joints that are so flexible they can bend both inwards and outwards. It's unknown how many people can do that, but you could check if you're one of them, of course. There's an unknown number of people who have an extra joint in one or more of their fingers. It bends like a normal one and doesn't cause any discomfort. There's a condition where the remains of a membrane that formed while a person was still inside the womb still cover part of their eye pupil. It makes the pupil look like it has a blot right in the middle with strands going in every direction, attaching to the iris. Around 2% of people have a lazy eye. It's a condition that appears before birth when the brain focuses on the development of one eye more than the other. As a result, one eye basically looks in a different direction from what it should be. There's a little muscle in your jaw that muffles the sound of your chewing typically, and it's usually relaxed. But when you flex it intentionally, you can create a roaring sound in your head. Only about 16% of people can actually do that intentionally though. But why would you? Can you flare your nostrils at will? If so, you're in about a third of people in the world that can do that. We actually flare our nostrils unintentionally quite often, but only a few can move those nose muscles as they want. Your eyes focus and unfocus on their own all the time, but about half of the population of our planet can control them. They can relax the eye muscles, make the eyes unfocus, and look in different directions. Now, all of us can raise our eyebrows. It's one of the things our mimics allow us. But only some can move one eyebrow at a time. Also, if you can raise one eyebrow, it's usually one and the same. You're an even rarer individual if you can move either of your eyebrows at will. By the way, people who can do that can also often move their ears, either one or both. Hypermobile hands are a rare thing, as only about 5% of people have them. This condition allows them to bend their hands and fingers backward, and some of them can even grab things with the back of their hand. A less fortunate but no less rare thing is being tongue-tied. It's when your tongue is literally tied harder than usual to the bottom of your tongue. Around 5% of people have it, and it does cause some inconveniences, unfortunately. Another 5% of the human population are secretly elves. Well, maybe not exactly, but these rare individuals have pointy ears that strongly resemble elfin ones. This is caused by an extra fold at the tip of the ear, and the reason for it is still unknown. About 4% of people have a clubbed thumb. It's a thumb that's about 2/3 of the standard length and is flatter and broader at the tip. Dreams usually come in color, but about 12% of the world's population see them in black and white. Scientists believe this is related to the emergence of color television. Before it appeared, about 75% of the people saw their dreams in black and white instead. Widow's peak is a triangular shape of hair right above the middle of your forehead, and it's a rare occasion too. Only about 12% of people have it. Also, it's a genetic thing, so it usually runs in families. Amber eyes, which are a sort of a mix between yellow and brown, are a more frequent color than green or gray ones. About 5% of people have amber eyes, while green-eyed people make up 2%, and gray eyes occur in less than 1%. You might think it's not the case, but gray eyes just often get confused with blue ones, which occur in about 9% of people. If you have a dark ring around the iris of your eyes, you're one of less than 1/3 of the world's population to have a dark limbal ring. It also becomes more prominent in people as they age, so even if you don't have one now, you'll have it later on in your life. Talon cusps happen in around 4% of people. They're small bumps on the back of the teeth that usually occur randomly and look like little nails. Not only do you have a dominant hand, but a dominant eye. Only about 1/3 of people are left eye dominant. To check which category you belong to, stretch out your hands in front of you and make a diamond shape with them, connecting the tips of your index fingers and thumbs. Center some object in that shape and close your left eye. If the thing remains centered, you're right eye dominant, and if not, you're left eye dominant. Less than 1% of people miss a nail from birth. It's a genetic condition that literally prevents you from developing a nail entirely. Still, sometimes it's only part of a nail that's missing. A select few people, also less than 1%, have an eyeball scar. The vitreous pulls away from the retina, and it causes the pupil to sometimes lose its round shape, and a line that looks like a scar appears on the iris. Another group of people have exceptionally long eyelashes. There's a condition that can make them extra thick or curly, or have more pigment too, making your eyes much more expressive. There's a rare and usually genetic condition that literally makes your skin blue. In people who have it, hemoglobin, the protein that carries and distributes oxygen to the body, can't effectively release it into the tissues. As a result, the skin bears a bluish tint, and the lips become purple. Most of us have patterns of creases crisscrossing our palms, but about 1.5% of people have only one prominent crease, while the rest are much less visible. Less than 1% of people with light hair have a single streak of dark hair on their heads. This occurs due to increased melanin production in the area. The pigment that makes our eyes, hair, and skin lighter or darker depends on its amount in those parts. Similarly, when there's an area on your hand that got less melanin than it should have, you get a patch of white hair. It can also occur in an eyebrow or in the eyelashes of one eye. Now, have you found any rare things that you probably have? Or have you met someone whose appearance is hard to forget? Please do share in the comments. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.